A motion by Helmut.
Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township. You know, those people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right, Elgin. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Addison Township, or Oxford Township, these are the people that you went and elected and will probably do so in the near future. You can make changes then, but
Right.
and the commissions and the committees that make decisions that directly affected you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And the result can be a taxing situation.
And it can be humorous as well, because there's humor in every meeting. You just have to dig a little bit. Sometimes it's right there prevalent in front of you.
Floats to the top.
And there's another thing, too, that one of us does more than the other. It's called rumors.
Not me, boy.
That wouldn't be it, huh?
Well, yeah, we both have rumors on the mind, but it adds to the... If you have a good story, basically, you want to make it a really good story. That's where rumors come from.
Yeah, they do occasionally. And, you know, you mentioned elections. There's one coming up in August, of course.
In August?
Yeah, and would be a primary. So...
Is it it's a primary, but is it also on a local level more than a primary?
It is local, yeah. It'll be
Okay.
local. So for example, you will vote for village council members, you know, that type of thing as we go along. Some other issues
This
too.
is not just a primary for the village council
No.
members. This is it.
Right, and I do believe that
Think about that.
NOTA also is another subject that'll be coming up on that ballot.
Oh, really?
Yep. So
That's more of a money thing, isn't it?
it's more of appropriation,
Yes.
allocation, a co-conspiracy for you folks. Conspiracy might
call
not
it
be the right word. No, it's a great organization, so you folks will want to make sure that you do follow through on that one. But let's talk about some meetings that occurred not
Danced
long
out
ago.
of that one.
I did. Saw me tap dancing down the street. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Leonard Village Council that occurred on April 9th. Also, we're going to try to hit the Oxford Village Council, which occurred on April 10th. Also, two more things actually. Oxford Addison Communications Commission, which was held on April 30th, and the Oxford Township Trustee meeting. So since we have a number of meetings to go, let's get started, shall we?
All right.
All right. The Leonard Village Council. Mike McDonald, of course, is the president. Cindy Grosskopf is the clerk. Judy Verse, who is president, also is treasurer. Shar Sotheby serves on that board.
As well as the Communications Commission.
Yes, as well as the Communications Commission. And Paul Almirante, Larry Hoffman, Alexander Kennedy, all were present.
Right.
So they started out with a good foot here. Pledge of Allegiance, all the preliminaries taken care of. Minutes for March 12th were approved, and agenda was approved as well. Treasurer's report. Now remember, with Leonard, there's multiple accounts.
Yes.
So the general account, they approved for $6,647.36. Major account, $3,513.89. You want to add some money here, you can go ahead.
All right.
Okay, local account 101.25, $101.25. Of course, there's a Mill Park Rec account as well. And
Right.
that account, of course, is zero right now. And they
Why is it zero?
well, because there's no money that's appropriated for that, and it's strictly volunteer funding in order to improve that particular building, for
But
example,
should
the
they
mill.
want to feed pizza to those volunteers?
Yeah, well, you know, you could make your own pizza and bring your own pop, whatever you do, you know.
But they have an account.
But they have an account, better than being a no account. So they're good. So all this was approved. Public comment, non-agenda items. One gentleman held up his hand and says, hey, he says, how do I get a permit to build a building? And of course, Mike McDonald scratched his head and he says, well, I think you go to the village. You know, you can get all that information there. That'll
And then
do
you
it.
go to the planning commission.
Yep, that'll work. So anyway, so the guy was happy, sat back down. New business, chloride bid was proposed, and they also wanted to do chloride for the application for Pollyant Trail parking lot.
That's to keep all that nasty dust down.
Yes, and they do have dust there because not everything is paved, as you folks know, out in that area. But that's the way folks like it out there, country.
Yes.
You know, so that's what it is. Birds are tweeting, dust is rising, all those things, you know.
Bucolic.
Yeah, right, it could be. Okay, appointments. Community Beautification Committee. Michelle Holt was placed on that particular committee, as was Megan Rainier on that board, and everything was approved for them.
All right.
McDonald, let me see, Oakland County Local Road Improvement Grant. President McDonald said that the grant is in progress. It looks as though things are on an even keel, and it looks as though Leonard will be approved the grant, but it's not, everything isn't completed yet.
Have they set a start date for that activity?
Well, whenever they get the grant approved, then they'll go forward with the dates for this.
see.
Does that make sense?
No.
It doesn't make sense, okay. For some reason, I didn't think that would, but anyway, that's what it is. Village newsletter publication. They're going to send out a newsletter every month to you folks out there. And as a matter of fact, you probably received the first one already, more than likely, since this meeting had occurred.
Are they? Is it physical mail or are they
Physical
sending it
mail.
by email?
No, it'll be physical mail to each of the residents
Okay.
who receive. Unfinished business, Elm Street project. Concrete repairs and the curbs. April was projected for April 23rd, so you should see activity from the engineers going on within your neighborhood as we speak here. Right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Let's see the other side of the page. Excuse me. Letters sent. There's a violation on 4285 Forest, which is an ongoing issue that they've had. You folks probably know about it over there in Leonard.
What is it? What's
It's
the
a violation. The guy is working on his property apparently and leaving all kinds of debris around the property, which is a no-no. It's against the ordinance. So they've been fighting with this situation for some time, and
Oh, leaving it out for an extended period of time is probably, you gotta have.
right. Well, he's been sent a letter that he has to clean it up.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't clean it up, he's given so many days to do this,
Or else?
or else then they have a
What's-
judge. They
or
say,
else what?
"Here comes the judge."
Okay.
Okay, so that's probably what'll happen if he doesn't do it. I suspect he's one of those kind of guys that maybe got to be right up against the wall before he makes a motion that, hey, maybe I should do something here.
I think they call that pushing the envelope.
I think they do. A big envelope. But anyway, so it looks as though that will be remedied, folks. Let me see what else. Board meeting they had for May 14th was rescheduled. They did that one already. Let me see. We'll discuss how to improve the village with Joint Planning Commission with the public. So you folks already attended that. You probably got a notice of that, more than likely, and it was posted. North Oakland Transportation Authority, NODA, millage renewal approval. In other words, the way the language is to be read on their ballot, because of course they're going to vote over there in Leonard as well. And that was approved and set forward, as it will be also in the township of Oxford. So we'll be back right after this, folks.
Or do you just enjoy all things media? Then you should watch Media Maniacs on Monday through Friday at 3:30 and at 11:30 on the weekends, right before the all-night movies. Remember, Media Maniacs. They review everything, and they're just crazy enough to do it.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we have just finished talking about the village of Leonard and what went on over there. Now we're going to talk about the Oxford Village Council. The village, that would be Sue Bassarded as the chair, Eric Dolan is the vice chair, Maureen Helmuth serves on that board, as does Joe Frost and Dave Bailey are on the board as well. Now Joe Madure, who was the village manager, was there as well, as Bob Davis, the attorney, and of course Drew Benson, who's the intern,
Right.
was doing the recording. Okay, they did the pledge, preliminaries all taken care of. Agenda, Dolan wanted to add clerk treasurer position conversation down the line in old business to be completed. Then they presentations, they checked out the presentations, none, so we're moving along. Then call to the public, non-agenda items. Brian Cloutier wanted to remind people that There's a historical presence at the library, 100 years of music history from 1850 to 1950. And I'm not all sure that display is still there yet, but you folks check it out. There's always something going on with the...
Brian does a good job over there.
Yeah.
He's the executive director of the library.
Sure, and there's always something going on there. And so, you know, check it out for both adults and children programs. Let me see, Rotary Club award was given to a GE Meads Award to Bill Service, our own very own Bill Service, station manager here.
That's right.
Yep.
Bill does a great job.
Very well deserving, and we did talk about that on a previous session, I think. Anyway, he
Another
did
gold star on your personal record, sir.
got that. All right, library. They're making some changes at the library, so if you go to the Oxford Public Library, you're going to see some construction work going on. So it's for the better, and eventually they are going to actually add on to the library.
Really? Mm-hmm. In what way?
Well, they're going to add a building extension to the building, but this
Too many books?
Too many books. This could be a rumor, but anyway, if it comes true, you heard it here first, folks. All right. Let me see what else we have. Minutes, March 27th was approved. Bills for $42,005.69 was approved.
Yep.
Unfinished business, discussion on snow removal. Boy, here's that snowball coming in again. And
Even in the spring, they start talking about snow removal.
they do, but they're going to get ready because by the time they finish talking, snow will begin again, right? So they want to make sure that something is done this
The
go
wheels
around.
of government move very slowly.
Right. So guess what they did with this one?
They tabled it.
They received and filed.
Isn't that the same?
Very close. It's a cousin to, you know.
It took the wind out of my sails.
Right. All right. So clerk position was the next discussion, and quite a conversation occurred there. The point being that they need to hire a full-time person. By the way, again, another rumor, possibly, but it looks like they have their sights on an individual that may very well be interested in that position.
Is it a moving target?
Very well qualified, the individual that they're looking at. And like I say, it could be a rumor, and more likely will be determined no later than probably mid-July.
Who shall be named later?
Right. We are taking bets on this, so if you'd like to send in your suggested nomination for that individual clerk, go ahead, send it in to...
Or if you know someone who wants the job.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of people who want the job, but, you know, it's more than wanting the job. There's a lot to it.
Oh, there's of course your curriculum vitae,
Yeah,
resume,
right. You got
and,
that.
you know, then your desire to actually do it.
And the ability to do it is critical.
Sure. And, well, yeah.
And
I'm sure they're looking for all
also
of
the ability to not get slammed in the butt as you go out the door. So
Well, that's true.
that's happened a few times. So anyway, we're looking forward to a new clerk. And I think the village manager that they hired is doing an excellent job out there as well as the intern at this point. So things seem to be moving around. And I don't want to forget the DDA director also. He's doing a great job as well, Mr. Pape.
Yep.
Okay, budget process was talked about by Manager Madure. And he said, oh, by the way, he said, there was a number of bills that popped up that were unexpected. And that happens, as you well know.
I hate it when that happens.
This guy deals with the budget all the time, so he knows. So anyways, it was explained to him why, you know, certain areas need to be adjusted and so forth. Okay, Eric Dolan said that, let me see, about the position, need to be budgeted for it is budgeted for the clerk and that it needs to be filled. He's voiced that position several times, and he's eager to get somebody in there that's qualified to do it.
Now, is it
Good
just
point.
a clerk, or is it a combination clerk treasurer?
I think they're looking for a combination clerk treasurer in this case.
Okay.
More than likely. But the individual that I'm thinking of that would be the rumor would have that ability. Now, stay tuned in the future for more news, right?
We've had issues in the past about those combo jobs.
We have issues with that, yeah. Let me see, how does that work? Okay, you do the financial side of it, and by the way, the clerk checks the figures. Is that the way it works?
No, I think the clerk's job is a big one into itself.
It is, yes, and you can just ask the clerk from the township, Curtis Wright, he'll tell you.
That's right.
By the way, I learned something about Curtis Wright too. He used to be the township supervisor
Really?
at one time. Yeah,
Wow.
years back. So and he's lived here all his life, so everybody
Smart
pretty
guy.
much knows Curtis. Anyway, get on to this subject again. New business, special event permits application. They're going to require applications be filled out for you folks that are hoping to have events within the village. And so you need to check in first with the village offices, make sure that you got everything in place, and there will be a fee in order to put on the event, just so that you're aware at this point. All right, let me see. Ordinance code enforcement policy. They want to make sure that it's mandated policy, and it's, let me see, that the code is enforced once it's in place. And the codes are pretty much there. It's just a matter of enforcing them. They got a new enforcer right now.
An enforcer?
Well, what I call an enforcer. He's a big guy. He's an enforcer for the village. So if he knocks on your door
like
and you see
Elliot
this great
Ness.
big guy and you can barely see his belly button at the door, he's the guy. Okay, so be nice to him.
And pay attention.
Right. Description, let me see, what else? Communications. Okay. All right, I think that pretty much covers that. This guy is going to handle, give out tickets if it's, if you're in violation.
The first one's a
More than
warning.
once. First one is a warning. Second one is more serious. Third one is, can you say, here comes the judge again? Okay, that's what happens. Okay, disposal
How
of
are
the
you
police.
feeling? Fined.
Right, disposal of a police vehicle. They have a used vehicle. They just bought a new one, and the chief was wondering if you want to be able to sell this on the internet, or how you want to do this, or if you want to keep the vehicle. And the contention was that they want to keep the vehicle. The vehicle is in not that bad a shape yet and could be used as a secondary. So that was the decision that they made.
Yeah.
They're not going to sell it for what they could get out of it. Most they could get is maybe $2,000 anyway, so it was
Is
a
this
good move.
a SUV or a car?
It's an automobile.
Okay.
It's a police car. They did purchase an SUV to replace it. Public comment, Terry Stiles, she raised her hand. You can see her above the crowd. She's kind of small, but when she speaks, people listen.
That's right.
Requested to be on the agenda for the budget meeting when it came up. And that was all she requested. Bill Dunn's concern with the public notice, 10 days for a sign, given notice, sign disappears, then shows up at a later date. He said that that needs to be looked at for these temporary signs. And he's right about that. I've seen it happen. And I'm sure you have too.
So if an unauthorized sign is up, does the village have the authority to simply take it down?
Yes, they do, if it's there too long. And then try to find your
But
sign.
what if it's down without authority? Authority.
Oh, they never do anything without authority. You got that right. With a village, they're going to have authority if they're going to remove it, and they're going to hide it. And speaking about hiding, speaking about hiding things, we'll talk more about that when we come back right after this. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're going to talk now about the Oxford Addison Communications Commission, which you know a thing or two about.
The OACCC.
Yes. Ed Hunwick is the chairman. Bill Dunn serves on the board. Jacob Newby serves on the board. Maureen
Township.
Helmuth and
Oxford.
Shar Sotheby.
Village of Oxford. And-
Yep. In this particular meeting,
Women.
Shar was missing.
Oh, okay.
Missing in action.
Missing in action.
But she was approved.
They're in
absent.
spirit.
Okay, Bill Service was there, of course, the station manager, and our very own Dave Kenny
Ta-da.
sat at the desk also. Pledge, roll call, agenda. Okay, all the preliminaries taken care of. There was, let me see, an item removed, and the item removed request was for sales commission for underwriters.
That issue came up before, a few years ago,
Yeah,
and they turned it down at
Right.
that time.
so Bill Service made that motion, and probably rightfully so. So his motion was approved, of course. Public comment, items not on an agenda, none. Okay, minutes
The motion was approved?
was not approved,
Okay.
because there were no, I mean, there's
all right.
public comments, no
Okay.
comments. Did you make a comment?
I make a comment.
You're just an example of what happened.
Yes.
Okay, minutes for January, let me see, was that 20th, 2018, was approved. Bills, get this, $61,992.73.
Things roll up when you when you cancel 2 meetings.
Now, can't you control those expenses better than that?
Sure can.
Oh,
We can have more
why
meetings.
are you looking at me
We
that
can
way?
have more meetings.
Okay, I got it. Okay, yeah, we'll skip by this one then. Year-to-date revenue expense report, received and filed, unfinished business, employee handbook. Does that ring a bell? Terry Stiles, she raised her hand, she said, hey, it's been 5 years they've been working on this thing.
They've been dipping it in and wringing it out, and dipping it in and wringing it out, and letting it hang out to dry.
Well, then the subject came up to Bill Dunn with the township. Hey, don't you have an HR, human relations?
That's right.
And what did he say?
He said, why, yes, we do. We may be able to leverage her.
Yeah,
Or him,
except we're
as the
not
case
at that
may be.
point yet to be able to do it,
Right.
because she's working strictly with the
Well,
township
she's
at this
getting
point.
oriented right now with the township and finding out
Right.
where they stand.
But it's a great possibility.
Yeah.
And Supervisor Dunn, he didn't say that it wasn't a possibility, did he?
No.
So that's
It's
that's
been
good
languishing
news.
for a while.
Right. So anyway, that's something that needs to be done, just so that the employees know their bounds here, right? Okay, OCTV new facility was the next thing, Seymour Lake Park. And William Service, our manager, gave a presentation of what the cost would be. And he estimated that the cost through architectural plans and so forth would be around $247,000.
Which was somewhat less than the original estimate,
Right.
wasn't
Yes, it was. I think it was around 300,000
it?
originally.
Yep.
So that's a good thing. Roughly $100 per square foot is what Mr. Service projected. So anyway, what from that? Terry Stiles had a reminder, existing lease expires in 2019. That would be here.
That's
And by the
February.
way,
February of
Yep.
2019.
and by the way,
By the
there's
way.
that segue. We have spent roughly, or the station has spent roughly $360,000 in just leasing for the last 14 years. So that would have more than paid for this building that we're looking at.
Yeah, we would have amortized that in a very short time.
Yep. So it's a smart thing that they're doing at
But,
this point for future.
Even as that is progressing, they're still looking for funding to build a community center, which will be adjacent to us.
Yes.
And it all has to fall into place before anything gets done.
And about acoustics, I hear those community people are really noisy.
Yeah, those seniors are a rowdy bunch.
That's what I've heard. Yes, a rumor is out there. All right. Let me see, what else have we got? Oh, yeah, Terry Stiles, she was talking about the franchise fees and how 2.5% should be coming back on the franchise fees. In other words, a full amount of 5%. And so there's quite a discussion going on there. Just to keep in mind that the township gives all the franchise fees in order to make this station operable, so
That's
you
right.
folks can enjoy the programming and entertainment
And
that we
it's a
provide.
two-part thing. There's the franchise fee and there's the PEG fee.
Yep.
PEG fee will go to us. The municipality has the option as to what percentage of the franchise fee will go to us. Oxford Township, for instance, gives us 100%,
Right.
and we're very thankful.
Yes, we are. The other issue that came up in new business was medical insurance for Terry Stiles. There was quite a discussion about that, and eventually it was tabled for more information required. Committee reports, none. And let's see, focus on new facilities. They did that. Bob Davis, the attorney, has a need to start over on the handbook thing because we need to start over completely.
The handbook is
it's been 5 years.
Bob Davis currently has the handbook, right?
He does have the handbook.
Or
and
the prototype of the handbook.
And he's not letting go of it either. I mean, it takes 5 years to
enough time has
produce.
passed where I think, oh gosh, it needs to be updated again.
Absolutely. Manager's report, he wanted to let people know that we are now connected with fiber optics here which is a good thing. A lot more
Oh, you just like to say that.
fiber optics.
Fiber optics.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. But anyway, it makes us less vulnerable.
More optically visible. I don't know.
Now, I have never heard that one before, but I guess it could be, especially if you're on the air.
That's my technical.
Okay, so anyway, that would be the Communications Commission. We're going to cover one more area, and that would be the Oxford Township Trustee Meeting, which is held on May 9th. And of course, the chairman is Bill Dunn, who is the supervisor of the township, Curtis Wright, the clerk, and Joel Ferrari, the treasurer. Jack Curtis is on that board. Margaret Payne serves as a trustee. Patty Durr and Elgin Nichols, all trustees. And he did the pledge, preliminaries. And the interesting thing here is that the supervisor, Bill Dunn, was absent through an illness in
So
his
who
family.
took over?
The chairperson that was placed as a temporary chair was Joe Ferrari,
Okay.
and agreed upon, by the rest of the constituents that were on this board. Is that the right word?
Well, they don't.
Individuals.
They don't have like a pro tem or something like that would automatically step in.
No,
Okay.
no, it's all, willy-nilly,
All right.
or nilly-willy, something along that line. But anyway, agenda was approved for May 9th. Consent agenda was approved. Public comments? None? Okay. Public hearing for Birdie's Indoor Golf and Bar. And this is what I wanted to discuss. Birdie's is what it's called.
Where's that going to be?
It's going to be, where Myers is at, and it's a kind of a small mall complex.
A little strip mall on the side?
Strip mall, yeah. And they're going to,
Is that currently where the defunct Oxford Kitchen was?
yes, well, actually that's one of them. And the other building that they're going to take over, or the facility, is where they had a suntanning business.
Oh, so it must be adjacent.
Right,
Okay.
so their location is going to be from building 974 to 980 in terms of address, but their mailing address is going to be 980, not 980. And they're looking for a Class C license, which was the last license that they have in the township available. And when all was said and done, all the smoke cleared, and by the way, they put together a terrific packet, for this board. Everything was in its place, and everything was the way it should be.
They love that stuff.
It was, and I'll tell you what, it went right through everything, the formality, and it was approved. So they have their Class C license, and this is the last one to be issued in the township for a while. Now, any new licenses that come up will be based on census.
Is Class C beer, wine, and liquor?
Wine and beer. No hard whiskey,
Really?
really.
What class would that be?
That would be the next one up.
B or A?
Could be.
C.
Not C, you already covered C.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, but anyway, in order to get more liquor licenses available to the township based on the census that's taken. By the way, the census will be taken within the next 2 years, so we're preparing for it in the
Every
township.
10 years.
Yep. So, what's coming up? Oh, massive.
Practically nothing. I had to really stretch this one on 6/4, that's June. At 7 p.m., the Village of Oxford Zoning Board of Appeals will be meeting. Oh, gosh. And you know what happens? Sometimes they cancel those.
You might,
check it out.
this might be canceled.
But I would like to give a shout out to Don Medici at the Parks and Rec Department for coordinating all of these travels that are provided by Parks and Rec. And I had the benefit of going to the great cities of Canada. Nice job.
Parks and Rec do a great job for you folks out there in Oxford Township. And I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kennedy.
Catch you next time right here on Minutes by Minute.